Okay. Sorry about that. I completely forgot the fact that I need to view this trade here. I, it was double shot, my mistake. So, rectify it now. Let's talk about the trade that I was supposed to talk about, but I had completely forgot to talk about it. So, come on, stop it. Okay, come on, go away, please. Thank you. All right, so the book I'm talking about is something I was going to place another book that I'm talking about soon. We're talking about Spirits of Vengeance, Rise of the Midnight Suns. Yes, this book in particular is kind of a new printing of the Rise of the Midnight Suns crossover, but contains other stuff with this one. The Rise of the Midnight Suns crossover consists of Ghost Rider volume number 28, that's where it starts, and it continues in the first issue of Spirits of Vengeance, obviously, Morbius, Darkhold, Night Stalkers, and concludes in Ghost Rider Volume 331. That's pretty much the whole Rise of Manhattan's crossover. This book also includes issues 2 through 6 of the series, along with Web of Spider-Man issues 95 and 96. Rise of Midnight Suns, it's an excellent crossover because mostly put Doctor Strange assembles these group of basically kind of like you think of as mostly somewhat of C-list superheroes take on these supernatural threats. You can think of the Midnight Suns as the 90s equivalent of Defenders. Except it's not one main ongoing series, it's several books. And this is very interesting. Darkhold and Night Stalkers were group books. Spirits of Vengeance was a team-up book. It was basically a partnership book between Dan Ketch and Johnny Blaze, the former Ghost Rider. Of course, he's coming back Ghost Rider nowadays. You're thinking, wait a minute, wasn't Spirits Vengeance also named a book released like not that long ago? Yes, this is the original book. That last 23 issues we're basically discussing here, kind of the first 6 issues. So, basically, it starts up in that Ghost Rider issue, and then for some reason it spends all these other books, and then concludes in 31, and you're thinking, what about 29 and 30? I'll discuss more about those later in later videos, so I'll talk about them then. So, I like the whole concept of Midnight Suns. It's a great concept. Spirits Vengeance is a good spin-off book. It's like basically when they brought back Johnny Blaze, like, oh, we need someone, let's do the Spirits Vengeance book. He, of course, was attempt to get his own 2 brief spin-off books in the 1990s that didn't last very long. Will last for 12, they will last for 4. Now, along with these issues, now, get this, 2 through 4, which they're published in between the main issues for some reason. I'm not sure why, but that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, so the order in which they publish the stuff in the book is like the entire Res Sense crossover, and then move on to Spirits Vengeance. Now, issue 2 brings back, basically has the debut of Steel Vengeance, a character who is no longer alive. I'll talk more of this character when we get to the next part of our story. Yeah, she makes debut in this issue. Her next appearance is on to issue number 7 of this very book. Yeah, and we also debut a character named the Master. You can think of basically as also he's actually a Centaurus. He's just no character. The thing with this issue here, it's basically like, okay, the first issue is more like a backdoor pilot into this book, and this issue here is more like a first issue proper. We have the Quincy Carnival, we have Lilith. It deals with some of the what's not going on, basically the sides separately to Rise of Midnight Suns. And then the very next issue, mostly put basically, you have to deal with more demons per se. And issue 4 deals with there's a guy named Deathwatch in the pages of Ghost Rider Volume 3. Yeah, Yeah, he appeared in this book just after his appearance. Well, I'll discuss more about his appearances over in Ghost Rider soon, but this is basically a continuation that also first appearance of a character named Deathspawn. They're just creatures created by Deathwatch. We also have a character named Hag, which I'll talk more about her when I talk about Ghost Rider. You're thinking, why didn't you just talk about this Ghost Rider? Well, because I have it here. Now, issue 5, however, issue 5 is part of a really good story arc here known as Spirits of Vengeance, which also involves the Hobgoblin. Yep, the Hobgoblin. The story starts out in issue number 95, Web of Spider-Man, and of course Eddie Brock gets involved with this thing along with Demogoblin and Spark Doppelganger. Yeah, it's mostly like, it's basically like I said, it's a crossover. It's like Spider-Man, Johnny Blaze, Venom, and the current Ghost Rider team up to take on, well, Demogoblin, Doppelganger, and some Spider-Man foes in this really good basically it's a quick 4-part story, mostly. Yeah, and it concludes with issue number 6. Of course, in the case of Ghost Rider, his story continues number 7, which I'll talk about that later. But in the case of issue number, basically for Spider-Man, that continues the anime story arc. And this book in particular, the reason I'm reviewing this now is because, well, there's a good reason why. Because we have in here the last 2 issues of Web of Spider-Man. Yep. This Spirits Bench book is really good. I thoroughly enjoy reading this. But before I end it here, final thoughts on the Web of Spider-Man series. Because I've now concluded my series of reviews on the very first volume of Web of Spider-Man. Yep, it's completely all done. Yes, this issue mostly put for, if you think about the first 100 issues for this book, it is really, really good. Not a bad issue in the first 100 issues. You're thinking, what about the last couple years of the book? The next Chronicles issue I thought was pretty decent. The stuff that led to the Clone Saga was really good. The Clone Saga issues were weird, but I don't think they were terrible per se. It's just that the book got canceled, it got replaced with Web of Venom, and then it got dropped from the Spider-Man lineup. And you're thinking, really? Was the book to replace it? I mean, this book was meant to replace Marvel Team Up. And when this book got canceled, it's like Spider-Man got trimmed down from having 5 books down to 4. Actually, there was a book to replace this one. It's called Initial Spider-Man, which I have reviewed already. And this is the last, I mean, basically, if you think about it, with the exception of Spider-Woman, guess how many major Spider-Man ongoing series left? Because I reviewed almost every single one of them. It's like, okay, what's up? You have more Team Up, Untold Tales of Spider-Man, and Ultimate Spider-Man. And that's it. Excuse me, of course, also miniseries and one-shots, but a lot of the really big ones have gotten done so far. Excuse me. Now, but you probably think, okay, so it's now I finished up Web of Spider-Man. What's replacing it? Black Panther. Yes, I am replacing Web of Spider-Man with the 3-volume trade series Marvel Masterworks Black Panther. That's what's replacing this one. Which basically, the way it looks, basically, when I finish both books, I get a chance to pretty much in the way cap off both characters. I mean, Cable Death will be finished in that period of time, along with Black Panther. But what's placed both of those? I have not decided yet. Yep. So yeah, that's a particular view. Next up, will be definitely another Comic Corner, okay? And I will not stop. Okay, next video. Bye.